In this video, I'm going to talk about the milestones of the architectural studies and where this Bachelor of Science Honours in Architecture program fits in. Then, we will look at the Taylor's Curriculum Framework or TCF, a university-wide initiative that began in 2018. I'm pretty sure you are excited to know what you would learn in this program, right? So, I'm going to give you a brief overview of all the subjects or modules under the different stream of studies. Next, I will tell you the program expectations towards the students. In other words, what you are expected to do as a student. And finally, the Taylor's Graduate Capabilities or TGC, the attributes that we expect our students to achieve throughout the duration of the program. This program is accredited by the Council of Architectural Accreditation and Education Malaysia or CAAEM under the Board of Architects Malaysia, LAM. Depending on the duration of the award given, CAAEM will come and examine the program every 3 to 5 years for the purpose of renewal of accreditation. Basically, there are 3 parts in the architectural studies before a person can become a professional architect bearing the title AR. The first part, or LAM Part 1, is the bachelor program which you are in right now. The program takes 3 years, and when you graduate, you would become an assistant architect, not an architect yet. After graduating with LAM Part 1, you need to work for a minimum of 6 months in an architectural firm before you can proceed with the second part. The second part, or LAM Part 2, is a 2 years Master of Architecture program, which is also offered in Taylor's and accredited by CAAEM. Upon graduation, you can work in practice as a graduate architect, not a full-fledged architect yet. But you must register yourself as a graduate architect at LAM in order to go to the third part. You need at least 2 years of working experience, all recorded in a logbook, before you can sit for the LAM Part 3 professional examination, where you only pass or fail the exam, and it is not offered in the university. The examination is conducted by the Board of Architects Malaysia and consists of 3 parts, 1 oral examination and 2 written examinations. Only after you pass the exam you will become a professional architect bearing the title AR and of course bearing a full responsibility of an architect. Since March 2018, all the degree programs in Taylor's, including this program, are conducted according to the Taylor's Curriculum Framework or TCF, which aims to equip students with the breadth and depth of knowledge as well as to produce graduates with knowledge in diverse areas. Under the TCF, students are allowed to choose a minor, extension, or a second major on top of the primary major. However, due to the requirement by CAAEM that restricts architecture students to learn at least 80% of architecture-related contents, therefore, the students in this program are allowed to choose only an extension program. Basically, this program consists of core modules in the primary major, complementary study, where students may choose between the extension in heritage and conservation or the extension in sustainable design, 1 free elective module where students can choose from any program outside this program, and several university core modules. The total credits for graduation is 120 credits, and the total duration is 3 years with 6 long semesters and 1 short semester. Here you can see all the modules under the different categories. In the first category, the primary major, you can see all the architecture core modules such as architectural design, architecture history and theory, building construction and materials, architecture and environment, computer applications, and so on. Under the complementary study, you can see the 5 modules that made up the extensions for both the extension in heritage and conservation and the extension in sustainable design. The modules in the extension in heritage and conservation are measured drawings and documentation, heritage conservation, theories, principles and practices, architectural conservation and tourism, conservation and development control, as well as heritage management. Under the extension in sustainable design, we have sustainable design policies and regulations, sustainable living, green strategies for building design, energy and architecture, as well as IT application for sustainable design. On top of that, you can choose 1 free elective module from other program. For example, you can take Mandarin, Korean language, beverage management, and so on. Finally, in the last category, you can see a list of university compulsory modules that you have to take throughout your study. As part of the Taylor's curriculum framework, students have the opportunity to co-curate their degree studies or their study plan, where students may indicate their choice of complementary studies at the point of application. The purpose of study plan co-curation is to empower students to make their own choice, to increase the level of commitment towards their studies, and as a reference to make a consistent and informed decision during online module registration or OMR. It is at this point where students have to choose which extension that they are going to choose or which free elective modules that they are going to take. This process will be conducted during the Academic Advisory Week or AAW, a week-long program dedicated to provide academic guidance for ease of students in choosing their complementary studies and co-curating their study plan. Another objective of AAW is to allow students to change complementary studies and thereafter revise their study plan. But you don't have to worry about it now, as the AAW will be conducted when you are in semester 2, as complementary study starts in semester 3. It will be in week 5 of semester 2 and will be done before the online module registration in week 6 and 7. Announcement regarding this program will be made to students via students portal or lines. Now, let's look at the program structure or the list of modules you should take every semester. However, for those from a diploma program, the structure will be a bit different as you are given credit transfers to some of the modules. In semester 1, in March 2020, you'll be taking 5 modules. The first one is Architectural Design 1, which carries 8 credit hours. Then you have Design Communication, 4 credit hours, Architecture History and Theory, 4 credit hours, MPU 2, 2 credit hours, and MPU 3, 2 credit hours. So the total is going to be 20 credit hours. In semester 2, in August 2020, you'll be taking 4 modules. The first one is Architectural Design 2, with a prerequisite of Architecture Design 1, which means you have to pass Architectural Design 1 before you can do Architecture Design 2. Then you have Theories of Asian Architecture with 4 credit hours, Building Construction and Materials, 4 credit hours, MPU 4, 2 credit hours, and a total of 18 credit hours. Then in January 2021, short semester, you are going to take 2 core modules. But for some of you without credit in SPM Bahasa Melayu, you have to take another additional module. So in short semester, you're going to take Architecture Environment, 4 credit hours, free elective, 4 credit hours, and for those who take Bahasa Kebangsaan A, you have additional of 2 credit hours. So the total is going to be 8 or 10 credit hours. In semester 3, you are going to take Architectural Design 3, 8 credit hours, Computer Application, 4 credit hours, Complementary Study 1, 4 credit hours, and MPU 1A, 3 credit hours, with a total of 19 credit hours. Here you can see that this is the first time you take the complementary study. So for those who take Extension in Heritage and Conservation, you will take one of the extension modules here. And for those who take Extension in Sustainable Design, you are going to take one module here as well. Then in semester 4, you're going to take Architecture Design 4 with 8 credit hours, Advanced Architecture Construction 4 credit hours, Complementary Study 2, 4 credit hours, and another MPU, which is MPU 1B, 3 credit hours with a total of 19 credit hours. So here, again, the second time you take the subject under the extension. At the beginning of semester 3 or end of semester 2, students may request to join a mobility program, for example, study trip, internship, or exchange program overseas. The process takes about 12 months, and therefore, you may only go after semester 4 or in semester 5. You may come and see me for consultation regarding the mobility program. Finally, in year 3, in semester 5, which is going to be in March 2022, you'll be taking 4 modules. The first one is Architectural Design 5 with 8 credit hours, Building Services with 4 credit hours, Complementary Study 3, 4 credit hours, and Complementary Study 4, 4 credit hours, with a total of 20 credit hours. And then in semester 6, in August 2022, you'll be taking Architectural Design Project with 8 credit hours, Integrated Project 4 credit hours, and Complementary Study 5, 4 credit hours, with a total of 16 credit hours. So in total, some of you will be taking 120 credits, and some of you who take Bahasa Kebangsaan A, your total is going to be 122 credit hours. Now let's look at the fun part, what you would be learning in this program. Basically, this program is divided into several streams of studies, and of course, the core would be the design studies. There are 6 design modules, one for each semester, with an increasing complexity from semester 1 to semester 6. In Architectural Design 1 in semester 1, you will be exposed to the basic designing and organizing principles and understanding of human anthropometric. Do not expect to design a building yet at this level, as you would only design a full-size space for a single person and to cater for a single activity. In total, there will be 3 projects in this module. Then, in Architectural Design 2 in semester 2, you will explore the notion of planes, lines, frames, openings, and so on in a structure and a building. In the first project, you will explore the organizing principles of existing buildings or structures. Then, in second project, you will design a pavilion, and in the final project, you will design a small house. At the same time, you will be required to design according to the context of a natural environment. In Architectural Design 3, the project would usually be located at a historically significant site with a strong community context. Therefore, students are required to study and understand the community well before embarking into the design process. An example of project in Architectural Design 3 is a Clan Jetties Visitor Centre located in Penang. Moving to Architectural Design 4 in semester 4, the project will involve the architecture in the context of suburban community, which involves specific issues or problem related to that particular community. Examples of the project are a play school, swimming club, and a community market. The Architectural Design 5 in semester 5 is pretty unique as it involves the architecture in the urban context. The site would normally be an empty site sandwiched between 2 shop houses or a corner lot of a shop houses located in Kuala Lumpur, Klang, or other urban areas. The project aims to resolve an issue of the urban community, and a strong emphasis is given towards the facade design of the building. Finally, the Architectural Design project in semester 6, a culmination of all design knowledge in the previous semesters, where students will be designing a building in the context of community in an urban context and would typically used by a public. An example would be a UNESCO Cultural Centre in Kuala Lumpur. Other than design studies, the next one is the Cultural, Artistic and Social Studies. There are only 2 core modules under this stream. However, the others are complementary study modules that belong to the extension in Heritage and Conservation. The 2 core modules are Architecture History and Theory, as well as Theories of Asian Architecture. Architecture History and Theory teaches students the development of Western architecture from early civilizations such as Greek and Roman Empire to the period of Enlightenment such as Pompeii and Gothic. Then, from Revolutionary period such as Industrial Revolution to the present-day modern architecture. Theories of Asian architecture, on the other hand, explores the traditions of architecture developed in the South, Southeast, and East Asia. This includes the history of Chinese architecture, the vernacular architecture of India, the vernacular architecture of Malaysia, and post-modernity in Asia. Technology and environmental studies can be regarded as the second most important stream in architecture. There are 4 core modules in this stream besides the additional 5 modules that belongs to the extension in sustainable design. The basic modules that you would learn in year 1 are building construction and materials, as well as architecture and environment. The first introduces students to the principles and practices of construction and building components such as column, foundation, floor, roof, and wall, as well as the properties of various building materials such as concrete, timber, steel, and so on. The latter introduces students to the ecological principles as well as the basic elements of climate such as energy and ventilation and their influences on architecture. Next is advanced architectural construction, which presents the principles and practices of construction technology for large buildings, such as basement and long-span construction, and recent technologies in construction such as industrialized building system, building information modeling, and facade systems. Finally, in building services, students will be exposed to a variety of mechanical support systems in buildings such as air conditioning system, water and electricity supply system, fire protection system, and so on. There are 3 core modules under the Professional and Communication Studies stream. The first one is Design Communication that teaches students the fundamental skills for communication of architectural design. Students will learn to draw manually using pencil and pen, color using various media, and produce building drawings using tools such as T-square and drafting table. The second one is Computer Applications, which is offered in semester 3. Please take note that students may only use computer drawings in their architectural design projects beginning in semester 3. The software that will be taught in this module are Autodesk Revit and 3D Studio Max. Both are advanced tools used in the industry. The final module under this stream of study is called Integrated Project, which will expose students the principles, techniques, and managerial issues, and also highlights the documentation process required in a project, especially for authorities' approval, such as the building plan submission and bomber submission drawings. Under the complementary study category, the Extension in Heritage and Conservation educates students in the preservation of the built environment to broaden their perspective of an architectural practice. For your information, architecture is not only about designing and making new buildings, but also maintaining and conserving existing buildings, especially those with historical, architectural, and cultural significance. There are 5 modules under this extension as mentioned in the earlier part of this video. The extension in sustainable design, on the other hand, provides students with the necessary knowledge to enhance their architectural design by implementing green and sustainable design strategies and principles. As mentioned earlier, this extension includes modules namely Sustainable Design Policies and Regulation, Sustainable Living, IT Application for Sustainable Design, Energy and Architecture, as well as Green Strategies for Building Design. The curriculum structure of the Bachelor of Science Honours in Architecture, together with the teaching and learning approaches and assessment tasks, are designed specifically to ensure each student has the opportunity to acquire and demonstrate the Taylor's Graduate Capabilities or TGC. The discipline-specific knowledge is acquired through almost all core modules where you learn all the knowledge required to become an assistant architect. Critical thinking and problem-solving skills are attained mostly through architectural design modules where you are required to solve multiple issues and problems related to the design project, such as the site constraint, environmental and social context, as well as construction and technical issues. Lifelong learning is achieved when you can continuously learn, unlearn, and relearn in a self-regulated manner without guidance from the lecturers. This usually happens when you are conducting research to complete an assignment or a project. Communication skills are among the main areas that you will develop in this program, as a lot of modules, especially architectural design, require you to present your ideas verbally as well as through drawings. Personal competencies is achieved when a student is able to self-regulate him or herself in everything that he or she does to achieve a particular goal, especially which relates to studies. This is generally related to all modules. There will be many group projects and assignments in this program, which among others aims to develop the students' social competencies. Therefore, students will be able to understand the feelings of others, interact positively with them, and foster a stable and harmonious relationship. Entrepreneurialism is achieved in architectural design project in semester 6 and social innovation project in semester 2, where students are able to influence change by being proactive, resourceful, and prudent in assuming risks. Finally, through this program, students are expected to gain global perspectives and able to see the world as interconnected and seek to understand an individual's, the society, or a culture's place in it. This is achievable through modules such as architecture, history and theory, as well as theories of Asian architecture. Okay, now, please pay serious attention to what you are expected to do in this program, especially if you want to finish your study within 3 years. Number 1, attend classes regularly and punctually. Failure to attend 80% of the classes would cause you to be barred from the final examination and subsequently failing the module. Number 2, attend every tutorial session, stay the duration, and work on the assignments given. Many times, students attended the tutorial session for a non-design module, but they are working on the design project. At the end of the day, they complain that there's not enough time to complete the assignment. You need to manage your time well if you want to succeed in this program. Number 3, submit all assignments or projects on time and up to the standard. A project or assignment brief is given for all modules, so observe the document carefully, especially the submission date, the task, the marking criteria, and so on. The school imposes late submission penalty for work submitted late without a valid reason. For example, if you submit your work late by 10 days, you might just get a 0 due to the penalty. But it is better to submit the work late than not submitting at all, as you fail the module. Number 4, please be responsible when using all the university's facilities. If you want to make models, please use a cutting mat. Do not cut straight away on the table. If you want to use spray paint, use the spray booth. Do not spray on the floor. Please observe the design studio usage policy carefully. Number 5, you need to inform the module coordinator on your absence or any emergency so that your absence will be granted with permission and will not be calculated towards barring. Usually, there will be more than one lecturer in the module. Therefore, you need to identify which one is the module coordinator. Number 6, please dress appropriately when you come to class, especially during presentation. If possible, do not wear hot pants, miniskirts, and slippers. During any presentation, make it a norm to clad yourself in office wear. You can refer to the architect's dress code here if you want. Just kidding. Number 7, please use Times as the main platform to obtain information about the module, such as module outline, project brief, recorded lectures, etc., as well as the official communication tool. Especially during a period where classes are conducted online, the lessons will be conducted using various features and tools in Times. Number 8, every now and then, you will be required to perform evaluations and surveys, especially the Teaching Engagement Scale or TES, which is held every semester to evaluate the performance of the lecturers in the modules that you take. These evaluations are very important for the continuous improvement of the modules and the program. Number 9, be responsible to your own self, your family, and your study. No one will drag you out of the bed to come to class or to do your assignment. When you tell your parents that you are going to class, do not go anywhere else. Don't do drugs, no matter how stressed you are with your study. If you feel so stressful or mentally exhausted, seek help. You can tell me your problem and I will refer you to the counseling and psychological services if needed. And last but not least, respect others, your lecturers, your friends, all the admin staff, and the general workers. I guess that's all from me for now. All this information are actually available in the program guide, so make sure you have one. If you don't, please ask for it from the faculty office or Campus Central. Till then, take good care of yourself and stay safe. Bye.